clerk please call the roll?
Senators Bridges, Buckner, Coleman, Cook, Coram, Danielson, Donovan, Fields, Gardner, Gardner,
Excused.
Janal, Gonzalez, Hanson, Henriksen,
Excused.
Heisey, Holbert, Jaquez Lewis, Kirkmeyer, Kolker, Lee, Liston, Lundin, Moreno, Moreno, Pedersen, Priola, Rankin, Rodriguez, Scott, Simpson, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Story, Winter,
Here.
Woodward, Zenzinger,
Gardner again?
Gardner, Mr. President,
Here. The morning roll call is 33 present, 0 absent, 2 excused. We have a quorum. Will the good senator from Douglas County please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the approval of the journal for Monday. All right, let's start this again. I move we dispense with the reading of the journal for April 18th and ask that it be corrected by the secretary.
I mean, that was close. Senator Sonnenberg, there's a reason why we have the script there for the new people. You may have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senate Services. Will the clerk please add Senator Gardner to the roll?
April 19, 2022, correctly printed Senate Bill 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 174, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 175, 185, 193, 194, correctly revised House Bill 1253, 1297, and 1307.
Committee reports.
April 18, 2022. Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Medical Services Board for a term expiring July 1st, 2025. Martha Cecile Fraley, MD of Durango, Colorado, to serve as a Democrat from the 3rd Congressional District and as a person with knowledge of the delivery of health care reappointed, and Simon J. Hambidge, MD, PhD of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a Democrat from the 1st Congressional District as a person with knowledge of medical assistance programs reappointed. The Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration on the merits of the committee, recommends the following. Senate Bill 203 be referred to the Committee of the Whole, a favorable recommendation, and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 186 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 189 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. The Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1261 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. House Bill 1031 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles to all of the bills on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1307, Representatives Valdez D. and Pico, Senators Moreno, concerning technical changes to the Practice Acts regulating mental health providers.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of the one bill on the third reading consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1307.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of the one bill on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1307 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Rodriguez, Sonnenberg, third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1253?
House Bill 1253, Representative Ortiz, Senator Danielson, concerning the provision of adaptive equipment in rental motor vehicles.
Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1253 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1253. Are there any no votes? Senators Lundin, Cook, Minority Leader Holbert, Gardner, Simpson, Heisey, Liston, Scott, Kirkmeyer, Quorum, Sonnenberg, Woodward, Smallwood, Rankin. With 20 ayes, 14 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1253 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Gonzalez, Jaquez Lewis, Fields, Janal, Buckner, Pedersen, Majority Leader Moreno, Winter, Rodriguez, Kolker, Priola, Lee. Please have the president. Senator Story. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 174?
Senate Bill 174, Senator Buckner, Representative Kennedy, concerning the criteria to be considered in a sunset review hearing.
Senator Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 174, third passage and third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 174. Are there any no votes? Senators Sonnenberg, Simpson, Lundin, Cook, Minority Leader Holbert, Gardner, Liston, Kirkmeyer, Heisey, Woodward, Quorum, Rankin, Priola, Smallwood, Scott. With 19 ayes, 15 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 174 is passed. Co-sponsors. Majority Leader Moreno. Senator Gonzalez. Donovan. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1297?
You have the honors.
House Bill 1297, Representatives Kipp and Neville, Senators Bridges and Scott, concerning the designation of daylight savings time as the standard year-round time within the state when allowed by federal law.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1297 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Scott.
Me too.
No.
Seeing none. Oh, Senator Priola.
No. Really? Thanks. Good work. Good work, Ray.
Hello, everybody. I was cruising Twitter last night, and I saw this bill come up, and I bit. I'm going to be a no, and the Twitter didn't change that. But what I did see on Twitter was a picture here of some kids in L.A. Waiting for the bus at 7:30 in the morning, back from 1974, when apparently this was tried and then reverted back to what we exist. So I will be a no on this bill.
It was very helpful for the discussion of this important bill. Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1297. Are there any no votes? Senators Simpson, Priola, Donovan, Story, Kolker, Fields, Hanson. With a vote of 27 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1297 is passed. Co-sponsors. Is that a Pink Floyd song? Majority Leader Holbert, or Minority Leader Holbert. Co-sponsors. General orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side on House Bill 1297, may I please make a motion that we actually just start on military time at 9 a.m.? 9 a.m. every morning for the beginning of our proceedings. Mr. President, with all due respect.
Senator Gonzalez, with all due respect, if the Appropriations Committee would get their act together, perhaps we could start on time next time. I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about, Senator Donovan. General order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. And Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court roll is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to the bill on general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1292, Representative Lindsay, Senator Jaquez Lewis, concerning expanding the uses of money in the state dental loan repayment fund to include oral health programs administered by the Department of Public Health and Environment.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the passage of the one bill on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1292. There are no committee reports.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1292. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The aye has it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committee has met and had one bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bill, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1292 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1292 passed on second reading and order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. General order, second reading of bills. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, and Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 35?
Senate Bill 35, Senator Rodriguez, concerning the occupational accident insurance coverage that independent contractors or carriers may acquire pursuant to standards set by the Division of Insurance.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 35 and the Business, Labor, and Technology report.
To the report.
Yes, in the colleagues in the committee, in the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report, we did some amendments to what we did with the opponents and proponents, mostly to add some minimum requirements and some guardrails to the policy that was requested by some of the coalition that we were working on the bill with.
Is there any further discussion on the Business, Labor, and Technology report? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, we looking for your support today on Senate Bill 35. It's a simple bill that will finally allow for independent contractors, we're really talking about independent truckers, to be able to purchase an alternative to workers' compensation that is slightly less robust, therefore less expensive. So it's something that the industry, I think, has been asking for a long time. Remembering, this is not anything where these independent truckers would be having employees. This is like any other self-employed individual who's able to waive themselves out of workers' compensation and purchase something different. This is finally giving them the ability to do exactly that. So again, not changing anything for folks that have employees, just for those self-employed individuals who happen to be truckers. Very proud of the work Senator Rodriguez did in the stakeholdering process, and happy to jump on as a co-prime sponsor, ideally after this is passed today.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, colleagues, there was an enormous amount of stakeholdering. I'm not sure we're there, but we've been having open discussions with the opposition, and we have made substantial changes. The bottom line of this is one individual who has to go and file a federal requirement, has to get licensed. This is a true independent contractor that wants to start a business, and this provides him the opportunity that everybody else who wants to start a business to do. If you have no employees, you're not mandated to buy workers' comp coverage. We put guardrails in here with additional coverage, higher limits. We put the occupational accident insurance at 1.5 million, and many of the policies are in there. This doesn't stop them that if they choose to buy workers' comp that they can. This just provides them with a tool to make a decision of how they'd like to grow and start their business. I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Liston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, we heard this in Business, Labor, and Technology Committee, and I want to commend the sponsors, particularly Senator Rodriguez, for working with all the interested parties. There was very compelling testimony by a number of the independent contractors, the people who their sole function is that they have their one or two trucks, and they do an excellent job. This is really their entry level, into the trucking industry, and they do a great job. And I know that the good senator from Denver has worked very hard with the opposition and others. So I urge an aye vote. So for those who are paying attention, for the millions out there, I know my colleagues are also paying attention. So this really is a good piece of legislation. And thank you to the senators for bringing this bill.
With Senator Liston's approval, seeing no further discussion, the motion is the adoption of Senate Bill 35. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 169?
Senate Bill 169, Senator Donovan, Representative Will, concerning the non-disclosure of sensitive species information under the Colorado Open Records Act.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 169 and the Agricultural and Natural Resources Committee report.
To the report.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. The committee report, we actually heard this bill, then laid it over, and then did some work in response to the vigorous discussion the committee had. And so the report reflects the amendments to address concerns that we heard from my fellow electeds, and I ask for your support.
Was there any further discussion on the Agricultural and Natural Resources report? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of the report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 169 is an interesting one for me, and I was glad to be able to work on it in my final session. It touches on something that I think many of us have probably a better knowledge of than we did when we first came into office, and that's CORA. But it also is in a pretty interesting part in that we're talking about information around sensitive and protected species. So unfortunately, there have been some bad actors out there that have discovered that they can use CORA to determine the location of endangered and sensitive plants and animals. I do not think this was the intent of CORA, right? When we use CORA, when we think of CORA, it's about government sunshine, of transparency into the inner workings of government. It's what the press has used to do breakthrough investigative work, to expose flaws in operating procedures, right? That's the intent of CORA, is to make sure that we can't hide behind just privacy requests or, big government not working with citizens who want information. What we're seeing is what I would say a perverse use of CORA in requesting where bald eagles' nests are, requesting the location perhaps of one of 10 rare plants in the state. And this isn't like many of us who I think go out to enjoy wildlife or to enjoy the splendor and beauty of Colorado. I think these people have ill intentions with rare and endangered plants. We've seen practices in other areas where they dig up one of the 10 and just for their backyards, right? These are very selfish people who have found a way to usurp the system and I think cheat not do the work of going out to just observe natural beauty, but want to hoard or utilize something just for themselves. It also preserves the concept of fair chase, which is one of those important concepts in the North American wildlife management model. Fair chase is that you should go out and hunt. That if you want to bag that trophy elk, you should go track it, you should do your work, you should call it in, you should actually hunt. What we're seeing is one request, for example, that asks for data in tabulated form of where every big game kill had happened in a certain drainage. Okay, that's not fair hunting. That's just making the scientists of Colorado Parks and Wildlife do your work for you. So the amendment narrowed, the amendment did two things, again, in response to the committee. The amendment moved it into a section of CORA that can be appealed. So if someone really thinks that their CORA request was unfairly denied, they can appeal it. So that was an important move that we made in response to the advocates that work in CORA. And then it also kind of narrowed and directed what, and clarified what type of data would be protected under not being able to request this. So I hope that explains some of the bill. It is walking a fine line, but I think we walked the line in this bill and would ask for your aye vote on Senate Bill 169. Happy to answer questions.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I appreciated and was waiting to hear and was reading, quite frankly, about the committee report and, quite frankly, the amendment in committee. I think this is really interesting. We've got a few bills this year that interact with CORA in meaningful ways. And, of course, CORA stands for the Colorado Open Records Act. The people of Colorado pay for and therefore have access to certain information. It's interesting that the committee narrowed, made very specific. It's not a broad class. It wouldn't be the entire class of elk. We're not going to protect all elk across Colorado. We would be just seeking to protect maybe it's a specific subspecies that is at risk, endangered, or something of that nature, down to the point where this amendment specifically says any records containing data or information that reveals the specific location or could be used to determine the specific location of a plant species identified as a Colorado plant of greatest conservation need in Colorado State Wildlife Action Plan, and an individual animal or a group of animals, an individual animal or group of animals breeding or nesting habitat. So I guess I would ask the bill sponsor if she would care to opine that, in fact, what we're seeking to do here is to be narrow in the protections toward the level of an individual plant, an individual animal, or an individual human being, perhaps in other areas of the code, but we're seeking to narrow, not make it more broad, because I think we have other conversations circulating in the building that would seek to knock down entire classes of information to the people of Colorado that is, quite frankly, their information. This seeks to be very narrow and very specific for a specific purpose, as opposed to trying to damp down or obfuscate broad public information from the eyes of the public who have a right to know. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Donovan.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, thank you, Senator, for the question and the further discussion. Yeah, what we're seeking to do here is if someone requests the specific GPS, like collar location data of a collared bighorn, for example, of a time, low place, and GPS location, we want to give protection to deny that CORA request. If someone, for example, there were quite a few in past years about mountain lions and deer populations and the impacts of the work that CPW was doing, that type of information we want to make sure is still CORAble if for some reason CPW ever was not responding to CORA requests in an appropriate way. But like an and endangered plant species. We very likely have the exact GPS location of every single one of those plants. We do not want to turn that data over for someone to then punch in to their GPS, walk to the exact location with ease and quickness at dusk, throw a shovel in the ground, pop up a couple plants, walk back to the road and disappear into the night with half of the remaining species of a plant in the entire world. Right? We have some plants in Colorado that there are 10 left in the entire world, and those 10 are within our state's boundaries. This is a pattern that's emerging across the country, including apps that the maker of the app will use a core information request to get this data and then produce an app that then turns around and tells people where exactly to go see this. Would I hope that someone that is using this core request to just go and admire a beautiful, strange little wonderful plant on one section of a canyon rim, I would hope, but I don't believe that we can take that risk when our numbers of these are so low. And again, two things that we're trying to protect and preserve with this bill is, one, we as a state have charged Colorado Parks and Wildlife with the protection of these species, right? So this CORA protection lets them preserve that mission of protecting and preserving these endangered and protected and rare species. And secondly, this was never what CORA was intended to do. And if people start to misuse CORA, I do believe that kind of the sanctity intent of CORA can also come into question if bad actors use it for bad things. So I hope that answers the initial question. I believe we've hit the right narrowness with the amendment that still achieves our goal, but makes it quite narrow to just really target people who are using it to try to get around fair chase or using it for nefarious purposes to find out the specific location of an animal or plant that we don't think that they have the best intentions. Let me add one final thing. If there was ever someone who wanted to get out and see the wonderful flora and fauna of the state, CPW actually has staff and volunteers across the state that will help you do that. You literally can call up CPW or work with your local and say, hey, I would really love to go see a burrowing owl, or I would love to go see some nesting bald eagles. And we have volunteers and staff that'll help you do that in a responsible way, in a way that protects the wildlife. Another really good example that is thrown out is our sage grouse, their fins, their mating display areas, right? These are the big grouse that puff up their necks and do these amazing dances and clearings in the sagebrush. People have been requesting those locations, and there was a circumstance this year where a local ranger found someone parked on the fen because they thought it was a nice open space in the sagebrush. And so they were literally parked on the location where the grouse would have done their morning mating display that perhaps well-intentioned, perhaps naive person was there to see. And if a sage grouse gets pushed off of these, they don't go to just another place. These are particular animals, as most are. So just another example.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, the examples that my good friend from the West Slope cited are actually happening now, and this won't change that. This bill won't change that. The premise we need to remember is those animals, those plants are not CPW plants and animals. They're your plants and animals. They're your constituents' plants of animals. And you should have access to seeing the beauty of them. Now, I agree with her that this should never allow the lesson of a hunt and allow a hunter to be able to use this type of data to be a lazy hunter. Never should we allow that. Matter of fact, I can't imagine why a hunter would do that that's a true hunter. But I'm sure there are those that may do it for, let's just say, the trophy. And I'll stop there with regard to animals. I agree with her. We shouldn't give that information. There should be a way to be able to define and give Parks and Wildlife, when they understand that this guy has pulled a bighorn sheep license and now he's coring where the bighorn sheep are, they ought to be able to say, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm okay with amending the bill to make such of a request be denied. But if somebody is doing a school project and say, I'm doing this little paper, 6th grader, 7th grader, I don't care, is doing this paper, I want to know where the plant is. So they core it to find out where the plant is so they can take a road trip one afternoon or one weekend so that kid can understand what that plant looks like, take pictures of that plant, those type of things, which I think happens more often than those that they're scared of with the abuse and the shovel. Yes, there's an app that says, go look on the side of that mountain, it's there. Or you can show this 6th grader and say, hey, thank you for doing what you're doing and trying to educate others with your paper and learning. We will help you. That's why I'm opposed to this bill. I want Parks and Wildlife to do their job and not be lazy and not do it just because they don't want to. There are valid reasons for CORA, and we shouldn't let them off the hook. Ask for a no vote.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If there is a 6th grader who uses Cora, we should all hire that 6th grader. That is a smart cookie, and they should probably go to law school. No, but not to. I appreciate the senator's comments. It was his and others in committee that I think made us go back to the drawing board and narrow the bill, as well as making sure we put it in a section of CORA that can be challenged in court if people feel that way. But I also want to go on the record because my parents would be quite frustrated with me that I called it a sage-grouse fen. All right, what's the difference between a fen and a lek? Quite significant, because a fen is a high mountain like peat moss bog that holds water in the high country, and a lek is a hollow space in sage in low country. So let's not let the senator in her final session confuse leks and fens on the mic. So that's where we are. I'm going to correct the record on leks and fens, but hope that too you guys can trust that I think in a real bipartisan and kind of open spirit, we got this bill to the right place. It'll preserve fair chase, and it'll preserve protections of our rarest and endangered species, while still making sure that CPW isn't using this to prevent, for example, working with research agencies. They do that under non-disclosure agreements. They have full staff that helps people get out into the woods to explore and enjoy the wildlife that does belong to us, but that we're not making sure that bad actors are going to put CORA in jeopardy and our plants and animals in jeopardy.
Senator Lundeen.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Seeking a little clarification from the bill sponsored, would the fen and the luck transfer to the Highlands and the Speyside areas of Scotland? Would the fen be in the Highlands and the luck be in the Speyside area?
I don't think they have leks in Scotland.
Seeing no further actual discussion, is there any further? No. So the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 169. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 35 is amended. Senate Bill 169 is amended, passed on second reading, ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 35 is amended. Senate Bill 169 is amended, passed on second reading, ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. The following change in bill sponsorship will occur. Senator Smallwood will be added as co-prime sponsor on Senate Bill 35, along with Senator Rodriguez. Committee reports.
April 19, 2022, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1068 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. House Bill 1082 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1111 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. House Bill 1225 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. House Bill 1249 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. April 19, 2022, the Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 98 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. April 19, 2022, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 99 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 138 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 140 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 154 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate take up House Bill 1068, House Bill 1111, and Senate Bill 99 on special orders consent calendar at the hour of 10:05 a.m.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1068, House Bill 1111, and Senate Bill 99 on special orders consent at the hour of 10:05 a.m. This requires a 2/3 majority. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. That motion is adopted. The Senate will take up House Bill 1068, House Bill 1111, and Senate Bill 99 on special orders consent at the hour of 10:05 a.m. Special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the special order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all the bills on special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1068, Representatives McCormick and Lynch, Senator Hawkins Lewis, concerning Medicaid reimbursement for therapy using equine movement. House Bill 1111, Senators Amabile, Representative Amabile, Senators Rankin and Fenberg, concerning insurance coverage for insured losses insured as a result of a declared fire disaster and in connection therewith making an appropriation. Senate Bill 99, Senators Heisey and Rodriguez, Representative Tipper, concerning the procedure for sealing of criminal records for nonviolent offenses and in connection therewith addressing workforce shortages and minimizing barriers to employment for job seekers.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the passage of all the bills on the special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and the associated committee reports, which includes House Bill 1068, there is no committee report, House Bill 1111, and the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report, and Senate Bill 99 and the Judiciary and Appropriations Committee reports.
Is there any discussion on any of the committee reports? The motion before the body is the adoption of the committee reports. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the reports are adopted. Is there any further discussion on any of the bills on special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of all the bills. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 99 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1068, House Bill 1111 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered, revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 99 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1068, House Bill 1111, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered, revised, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate take up House Bill 1249 and Senate Bill 98 on special orders at the hour of 10:10 a.m.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1249 and Senate Bill 98 on special orders at the hour of 10:10 a.m. This requires a 2/3 majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate will take up House Bill 1249 and Senate Bill 98 on special orders at the hour of 10:10 a.m. Special order, second reading of bills. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the consideration of the special order, second reading of bills, and Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the Title II, House Bill 1249?
House Bill 1249, Representatives Burnett and Hooten, Senators Rankin and Hansen, concerning the creation of a microgrid roadmap for improving electric grids in the state and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1249 on second reading.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1249. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee has adopted the bill. Will the clerk please read the Title II, Senate Bill 98?
Senate Bill 98, Senator Rodriguez, concerning the creation of a program allowing for the use of donated unused drugs.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move House Bill 98 and the Health and Human Services and the Appropriations Report.
To the Health and Human Services report.
Thank you. In the committee, I converted this bill into a study task workforce, and they approved me proceeding with that, which created a fiscal note, which was why it was sent to Appropriations.
Is there any discussion on the Health and Human Services Committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. And to the Appropriations report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the Appropriations report, there was an allocation, some funding for some staffing for some of the research and outreach that's going to be needed for them to come up with a recommendation for the repository of unused drugs.
Is there any discussion?
Allocation of funds.
Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, this bill started out as a drug repository program. As many of you know, we have some small ones that aren't being utilized that allows people to use their safe, unspent, sealed drugs to be donated back, to be given to people who could use them. It was brought to me by a constituent, and it rang a bell with me because as somebody who's had some medications, and if you don't deal with now, some of these mail order ones send you 3-month supplies minimum when you do it. And some of these medications, one of the medications I had that they changed interim that I need to stop taking was worth $600 a month. And instead of just sending it to a place for them to dispose of, or you putting it in your kitty litter as recommended by a lot of places, I thought there might be people that would be interested in getting access to these drugs. Now, the way I drafted the bill based on one state, which was Illinois, created a lot of consternation. And then, based on another state, which was Iowa, who has the longest running repository program in the country, I drafted it like that, and it created some more anger. So, you know, and we have these programs for cancer centers and stuff, but they're not being utilized, and the goal is we need to look at what other states are doing, collaborate to get these drugs to people who could utilize them for a low fee for just processing. So I want to thank all the colleagues, which are the pharmacies, pharmacists, Dora, HICPUF. Everybody recognizes the need, but instead of ramming through a policy that wouldn't get done, we decided to take a work group together to get this research to see if there's a recommendation for us next year. I humbly ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 98. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 98, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1249, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 98, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1249, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Kohlhaas.
Yeah, if you want to announce it, and then I'll.
Consideration of House amendments. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over Senate Bill 49 to tomorrow, Wednesday, April 20th.
The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 49 until tomorrow, April 20th. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 49 will be laid over until tomorrow. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 157?
Senate Bill 157, Senators Holbert and Fenberg, Representatives Hooten and Van Winkle, concerning the enforcement of laws relating to unfair business practices committed by regulated persons.
Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 157.
Minority Leader Holbert, I thought we had a perfect bill, but tell us why maybe we didn't.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have a perfect bill, but the House did find one amendment. You can find it on the bottom of page 5 and into the top of page 6 if you care to look at it. But the House amended the bill and then passed it unanimously. And with 22 days left in the session, I would prefer not to call that out to them, call that to their attention, because they will certainly find some reason to disagree with themselves. So if we just concur, it'll be done. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? The motion is that the Senate concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 157. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the motion is adopted. Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 157.
The motion is the repassage of Senate Bill 157. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 157 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Announcements. Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. After conferring with both the Majority Leader and the Minority Leader, I request to be excused for tomorrow's date of April 20th.
Very suspicious, given the date. Senator Kirkmeyer.
You know,
We know how you
a
roll.
lot of excitement happening tomorrow.
Senator Kirkmeyer will be marked as excused.
Thank you.
Tomorrow
And
on
for others that are going to be responsible, you should think about it too.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, Senate State Veteran Military Affairs Committee will be meeting today at 2 o'clock in the old Supreme Court. We're hearing House Bill 1273, Senate Bill 199, and then we will hear Senate Joint Resolution 11 per the request of one of the sponsors at the end of the committee. Thank you.
Senator Janal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Local Government Committee will be meeting at 2 o'clock today. We will be hearing one bill, 1300, and also 2 governor's appointments.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Transportation will be meeting today, and we will be following the calendar exactly, which includes considering putting Sal Pace on the Front Range Passenger Rail District Board. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, but probably worse than Danae Escar, who we're also appointing to the Front Range Passenger Rail District Board. I look forward to seeing her in the Senate. Thank you.
Further announcements. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate recess until 3 p.m. today. Colleagues, you do not need to return. We're just reading bills across the desk.
The motion is to recess until 3 p.m. today. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until 3 p.m. today.